Taka? Hey everybody, welcome to, I'm going to take that out of my ear. Welcome to our first attempted playing through Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. This is the shorter kind of prequel to Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. We're going to take a crack at it playing from the very beginning because this is supposed to have an easy to use rule book. Like it walks you through steps 1 through 100, and by the end you can play Gloomhaven. Now, I have played base regular Gloomhaven before, but never run it as a DM. So we'll see how that's working out for us with this one. This is a base scenario, so we're going to try to solo it with 2 characters, and there apparently is some special rules for that. Also, on this stream, we're testing out some more things. Like, I brought over my mic from the old podcasting thing, so we're going to try to use this mic channel a lot, so I may be doing this whole thing quite a bit. We're also testing out a green screen, so if you can hear me, that's great. We'll check out the green screen later, and I want to know if you have any feedback on kind of this music underlaying thing, because we had some audio issues last time and I'm trying to do some adjustment on that, so we'll see how we're going there. So while we're doing that, once again, if you want to comment or something, I have the Twitch manager up on my phone, as well as we're going to Facebook and YouTube live here. So if you want to comment in any of those 3, the easiest one will be in the Twitch, twitch.tv/Querdcast. Also, if you want to go to our Querdcast/live, you can watch us there, give us some donations on our Patreon, our Ko-Fi, and anything under Querdcast. We have a Gin Ricky today, so we're going to have a little bit of a time, and we'll see how we go here. I'm also testing out some of this embed on-off thing, so let's go to the table here and see what we got. So I'm going to be plugging in the music here. So if the music's a little too loud, which it seems like it may be, I'm going to adjust that down a little bit. So we're going to get a little bit more on the audio channel here. You might even adjust the music all the way off here, which I think that's going to be our better choice here, is to actually control the music over at the main volume instead of adjusting with our mixer that we kind of want to keep at low. So you're going to have to let me know if that's working out here on the mixer volume, because I'm still adjusting. They have a lot of inputs that aren't necessarily the greatest. So we're going to pop that down for now and then put it back on when we start getting into the major gameplay. And also, this mic is not on its usual stand. It's a little bit jury-rigged for right now, so forgive me if I do a little bumping and popping here, but we'll get this going once we figure out a better setup here. Okay, so this is Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. It's actually small enough I can pick it up with one hand. So it's the main box here. And it starts off right away with the first scenario here. I'm going to pull this up. So you start off with your instruction book, and it starts right away with a Learn to Play guide. Drops you right into the main book here, which there is some intro text on the front, which I am going to pull up. We're just going to read off the intro text before we get started here. So the intro text is, "It will be good to get back to the Sleeping Lion. After a fortnight going up and down the still river, chasing a bad lead on a missing blacksmith, you can almost feel the warmth of the inn's hearth when Gloomhaven's walls come into view. You are almost home. To be fair, it's not just the blacksmith. An alarming number of people within the poorer districts of the city have gone missing lately. Usually nothing comes of it, though. Just another poor soul forgotten out here on the edge of civilization. The blacksmith's wife, Sandy, however, managed to somehow scrape together enough money to hire you to find her husband. You're not sure where the money came from, but no matter the source, it could have come easy, which makes it doubly painful to return to the city empty-handed. True, Sandy was a little light on the payment, but you are the Jaws of the Lion, one of the most well-known mercenary groups in this backwater dump of a town. Surely it can't hurt to take a charity case every once in a while. Getting good jobs is about maintaining a reputation, after all. Which is why you really need to get to the bottom of this and not return to the widow with nothing but the calluses on your feet. Also, you probably shouldn't color a widow to her face. At least not until the fate of the blacksmith has been confirmed. Given, however, that none of those who disappeared have returned, the outlook is pretty grim. As these cheery thoughts pass through your mind, you notice movement up ahead and immediately draw your weapon. The sun has dipped low in the sky, reducing visibility, but you can clearly see some ramshackle wooden barricades blocking the road in front of you. And sure enough, you cautiously approach the scene. Vermlings jump out from behind the obstructions, flashing crude swords and sharp sticks. And this is where we start our little adventure. So, that's the front of the book. So far, nothing that would be anything more spoilery than opening up the back of the box. We are going to be running through these scenarios, hopefully getting through the book by end of December, hopefully. But there will be spoilers as we go through, so just FYI as we're working here. As you notice, we have our little Gloomhaven helper app up in the corner here too. This is going to help us out with doing a lot of our bookkeeping and maintenance. And they have added Jaws of the Lion features to the app, so that's going to help us out quite a bit. In this first scenario, the Vermlings and that are not going to be moving on the action track necessarily, so we're not going to need this as much. But we're definitely going to take advantage of some of its features just to make bookkeeping a lot easier. So one of the first things that we learn is at that bottom of that page where it says where we finished up our story, we get a new location reward. So we're going to pull up the map of Gloomhaven. If you can see my veiny arms. Okay. So this is Gloomhaven, our shiny little bird here. And we are supposed to put our ambush site at B1. So you can see we have quite a sticker sheet, 25 different locations that we may or may not be going to during the game. So we're going to take sticker 1 and we're going to stick that in B1 right away to show where we are. And once we complete these locations, we mark them off on our big map too. Now this is a lot smaller than the map on main Gloomhaven, and it doesn't have any of the boards or anything, but it is still a nice to have. And can I align things? One problem with stickers is getting them to line up. There we go. So if you see here, they're a little roadside ambush. So that's where we're gonna go, and where we're gonna have our first adventure. Okay. So next in the book, they really just walk you straight through all the way down through the game here. So it is very much a clean walkthrough on the book. So I'm just going to pull the book aside, make sure that I follow it to get the rest of the setup here, because we got some decisions to make right off the bat. The good thing is that these things are life dials, the monster initiative deck, our monster, and the monster kind of action augmentation deck. This we don't have to use because those are all going to be in our little Gloomhaven helper app. So we're going to move over to our app here. We're going to have to make some decisions here. So we're setting the scenario. We're doing Jaws of the Lion. Scenario 1. We're soloing it. We're going to add our monsters. We have in our monster pool, I took off their bases just because we're going to lay them face up to make them a little easier to see. We have 3 regular vermlings, and then we have our little elite vermling. Elite vermlings get the little yellow stand, and I'll bring this out here. Regular characters just get this white stand, but we're not going to have those on there because we need some time. So we're going to put these out on their spaces that are pre-marked in this book. So you actually play in the rule book in this scenario. So they have a bunch of markups up here to give us some of our rules, and then we have a conclusion down here which we're not going to read until we get to the end here. Actually, let's see, that's 3. There. I'm actually going to switch my 2 and my 3 just that way. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll keep us together. So those are our vermlings. These little green things are those barricades that they were talking about. And they're actually like cool specific barricades now, as opposed to just general obstruction, which is always nice. Okay. We do have some choices to make. We have to pick who we are. So this is going to be our toughest choice here, because it's going to have to stick with us the rest of the game. And yet we don't know what we're getting, which is the cool surprise. So we have the Demolitionist kit, which according to the book is great at melee damage and destroying these obstacles. So this is kind of our bruiser. We have our Void Warden, which is our healing and support character and kind of our magic user. So they'll be a good for like backup and holding back. So we got a rush character, backup character, and then we have here the Red Guard, who apparently is good at protection and manipulating monsters. So this might be a good alternative to the Void Warden as well. And then last but not least, we have the box that fell on the floor. There we go. We have the Hatchet, who's our ranged character and rogue. So we have some choices to make. What should we do? I think we definitely need a range, like a support range, and then like a melee character. So let's see, who is going to be cooler? Kind of cheated looking up art for the game because the art in our corner here is our little Void Warden. So she looks a little burnt, but I'll get going with that. So I don't know. I kind of have an inkling. I kind of want to see what this one is. But the Hatchet seems cool too. They all seem pretty cool. But of them all, I think we're going to definitely go with our Demolitions Expert for one. So we got a melee. And then just depends on which one we want here. Which I'm going to say the Hatchet should be out, but I really don't know if we want our Red Guard or the Void Warden. I don't know, folks. What would you go for? You know what? I think we're going to try this Red Guard. So put these guys in the back pocket. Maybe they show up later. We don't know. That's the cool thing about this game. It's a campaign game. You never know what's going to happen. So we are going to open up our little boxes. We're going to start with our characters. Oh, I think we chose good. Look at this guy. He's got a cool shield. Kind of a bow. He's got a little devil tail. So definitely the reddest of guards. So that guy's pretty cool. So we're going to go with that, and then we have our Demolitions Expert here, which actually looks like she's coming out of The Force Awakens. It's really cool. So we're going to blow stuff up with them. So let's add them to our little cheat sheet, and we're going to put these things back away in their little box. Which, by the way, I have it sitting by my feet, so it is gone to heck. But for a Target game, a mass market sort of retailer, it has an incredibly great insert. Like, one of the first things you do is separate all the characters out, put them everything in separate baggies, and organize that box. They actually have instructions on doing it, and it even includes this kind of token tray and that, so everything is organized and ready to go. Okay, let's add our characters now to our little app here. So We have, like I said, we have some Firmling Raiders. We're going to add 3 regular and 1 Fancy Pants Firmling Raider. So we've got our Firmlings. And their initiative is always going to be 50 in this scenario, so we're not even going to mess with the initiative cards here. And let's add our characters. Okay, so we have some characters from the initial campaign. We have extra fancy people. Also, there's mystery people down there, but we are going to choose the Red Guard and the Demolitionist. Boom, there we are. We're on the go. Our symbols, our health, our advantages, and all that. We're not going to deal with any of these during the first scenario. We're just going to be considered with our health and where we are in initiative order, quite frankly. But this is going to handle our monster deck. This is going to handle all our raids. It's going to be great. I do like kind of handling the deck for the good guys here, which I hope are good guys. But for the players, I kind of like handling that manually and then just rolling the monster deck. Here. So we're going to grab our cards. So what do we got? Cool. So we have some tokens. Some of our cards will be using tokens for like timed events or persistent events. So we're just going to keep this in here for right now. This deck says halt, so we are absolutely not doing that. So does this one. You're not using that deck right now. That's got some fancy pants stuff in there. And then we've got this little board, which is going to be kind of our tracker board, which we have up in the corner there. But isn't that a great piece of art? That's much bigger art than regular Gloomhaven. And like, it's really, really sharp looking. Like, look at the armor on that dude. So you have your base card value, your discard and loss, place to put all your conditions, and then your tracks and things to keep remembering. But none of these are going to really take effect until the end game. We do have some cool flavor text here on the back, which we'll go over in a little second. Cool. Also, we get a character sheet, which we'll go over that at the end of this scenario. And this is going to be our battle cards, so we're going to be using these. So if you notice, they have a little lion symbol to show they're from this Jaws of the Lion set, and this deck is particular to my guy. So this is our Red Guards deck. So we're going to shuffle this up. So we're going to do some battling. And as we go along, these decks are going to get modified and altered. so that's the red guard. And we get his action cards. Some more. Okay, so we got our wonderful cheat sheet. So there may or may not be use of these special actions, but it's got a good round overview on it, so we'll definitely be referring to that. And here, we're only supposed to take the cards that say A at the top. So these are going to be our starting cards. So we should have 6 A cards. 5, 6. And that's kind of our starting abilities. As we go through, we're going to discover new ones, swap some in, swap some out, and kind of grow our character and really customize it through these decks. I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to put our little red guard aside here in this little red guard pouch. And let's read what he's got here. So, yeah, though their demon-like qualities make them feared by many, Velroths are, for the most part, well-mannered and gentle, preferring to solve their problems through diplomacy rather than violence. They come from a dark and bloody heritage of genocide and warfare, and, as they have become more civilized, have simply made concerted efforts to put their pasts behind them. Velroths pride themselves on being able to integrate themselves peacefully into human society, often becoming wealthy merchants or influential politicians. So they're not done killing. They're just doing it politically. Not every Velroth can be peaceful, however. There's a special caste of the Velroth capital of Jehinda tasked with protecting the city. It is a prestigious position and one not easily lived up to. Outcasts from Jehinda for unknown crimes, the Red Guard found it too difficult to part from their identity as a protector, keeping the distinctive red armor as well as their chain sickle and shield. The only place to find work was as mercenaries in Gloomhaven, and maybe, just maybe, by standing on the front lines and keeping their allies from harm, the Red Guard will find some way to redeem themselves. Not in the eyes of the Jehinda culture, which has permanently turned its back, but at least within their own esteem. So cast out mercenaries they are. So we're going to just do that. And we're going to use, I'm going to put our little board up here and use it to make sure we got all our cards. Flop it straight here. There we go. Tiny cards. Tiny cards. Okay. So that's our red guard. Let's see what our demolition expert has, shall we? Put their little chits and extras back in the doohickey. They also come with little baggies with their initiative order, but we're not going to use that because we're going to do that on the app. So we're going to do that, and Here we have our demolition expert. It's looking fierce. Let's see. See that? Because of their diminutive size, Quartles feel they have a lot to prove. From an early age, they are encouraged to study as much as possible about many different subjects. Though they are expert Quartles in any field, they seem to have a particular affinity to engineering and machinery. Their long, delicate fingers allow them to build all manners of intricate contraptions to make life easier and augment their inferior physical strength. Though they are not numerous, Quartles can easily integrate themselves into any society due to their expertise in critical fields and their charming, graceful demeanor. Only a fool would shun a Quartles offer to help. Even when augmenting themselves with machines of their own creation to destroy anything that stands in their path, Quartles will still do it with charm and flair. Though they may be small, demolitionists don't let that hold them back in the least. Between their rocket boots, multitudes of bombs, and giant pistol fists, they are forced to be reckoned with. Sometimes the only path forward is the one they create themselves. In such cases, it is best to just get out of their way. So I think we chose wisely with these. So we got Reformed Demon Sect and Engineering Pistol Fists. So that's good. Okay, so let's get their shuffle up. So our demolitionist has 8 hit points, and our red guard has 10. So they're going to be slightly more buff, but only slightly. And we have a bunch of firmlings that have 5 hit points and one that has 10. Like I said, our firmlings are going to not be as dynamic in this first round for attacking and stuff. They're always going to go at initiative 50, and they always have move 1, attack 2. Okay. So we're going to do that. I'm going to adjust here because my leg's already falling asleep as I am tucked into the tiniest of corners right now. Okay. Once again, apologies for kicking in the mic, as one is oft wont to do. Cool. So we have our 6 cards with Implode, Knock Out the Supports, Pistol Punch, Explosive Blitz, the big one, and a 1-2 punch. This is all great. This is great. Cool. So now we can put our guys anywhere on the little door symbols to start. So let's see. Let's put them through. So we're going to want to rush with our demolitionist. So I think that's a good support. support move there. Cool. And now it jumps us right into gameplay, which is nice. So once again, we're going to do our initiative order. You choose 2 cards. You do the top and the bottom. You do the top of one, bottom of the other. You don't have to decide right now, but you do have to decide which one you're going to use for initiative. And of course the Vermlings. I keep wanting to say Wormlings, which that is not cool. The Vermlings are an initiative 50 regardless. So what's nice is they even start you off with like, hey, if these are your first play, choose these 2 cards first. So that's going to be kind of a directed use thing here. So let's see, what do we got here. Let's see. Got some ranged attacking, which is good. So our first Firmling. So when you're doing ranged, it can go through your other characters, but you can't actually like physically move through the other character. You're going to have to move around. So we have Vermling 1, 2, 3 away. So I need to at least move 1 if I'm going to go with our red guy here. Or maybe like I rush. Go. So they say Blind Sickle and Shocking Advance, correct? Well, that is interesting because those have a large move to them. Actually, most of them have a large move to them. Don't know if I want to use both my large moves all at once. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna, yeah, that's not a bad start because we do have some things here. So normally you're not allowed to tell your partner exactly what you're doing, but you just kind of say like, I can go really early and I can totally take this guy out, or this, that, or the other thing here. So they're suggesting 1-2 punch and knock out the support. So as we're learning, let's try those. So we'll use 1-2 punch, knock out the support. So we've chosen here for our red guard, and then we've chosen here for our demolitionist. So now we flip them over. Boom, boom. We have initiative 20 and initiative 14. So let's put that in the old doobly-doo. So this is going to be an initiative 20. And this is going to be an initiative 14. Cool. So now we are going to do that. just as fine. It pulled 36, but we're always going to have them go at 50. So none of this matters. This is just kind of a relic of the app. Cool. So let's get some music back on. We're going to put this on in the background and have some time. That's how we're going to do it. So at 14, red card is going to go. So we have some ranged attack. We have an attack. So we did the bottom here, we have to do the top here. So we're going to do attack 2. So let's see what we got. So attack 2, range 2. We don't have an advantage or disadvantage on it, so we're just going to roll one card. So our top card is +1. Okay, so we attack 3. Tell us that we should be doing a short rest. And we've got a little bit of an echo, so we're going to pull this back. So they tell us we should be doing a short rest. So we'll do that. at our 6th turn as prescribed in the book here. They really walk you through it pretty good. So here we have also, we forgot one thing. This gives us an immobilize on one of our characters here. So we're going to put an immobilize. Those are not there. Okay, so we're going to put an immobilize on our number 1 guy here. So okay. So if we did that on the sheet, we would put that right there on our characters. So let's see what do we got here. We can give ourselves some strength, which is always nice. Which will give us advantage. That's nice. Okay, so I think we're going to do our move 2. And we are just going to move here. And then we destroy 1 adjacent obstacle. So that's destroyed. And if you do, you gain strength as an ability. So we're going to add strength here, which means they get advantage. So they'll draw 2 cards and take the best. That for the attack. And you are adjacent. And then 1 adjacent enemy suffers 2 damage. Plus modifier, then the same or different adjacent enemy suffers 1 damage. So we are going to pull our magic card and we're going to do, okay, so that's 2 damage and they are dead. So we need to add an extra firmling. This one we're going to just kill off because that was our one. So we forgot how to use the app. So 4 is going to be our guy there. Okay, so that's our one. Now here in the beginning, we don't have any loot drops, but normally if we kill this guy, he drops off a loot. So that's one down. Okay, now it's the Vermling's turn here. The Vermlings are going to attack us. Gonna move one. So they can't attack us right now because they're very slow. So we're gonna move on to the next round. So the Vermlings are gone. Next round. Okay. Okay, so we're not pre-programmed here. Now this has a recycle on there, which means at the end here we're going to reshuffle his like that. That's not good. That was a critical fail. But we're fine. We're fine. Just kind of punted it. Oh, he didn't even have the firmling skill first. So he's gonna punt. Okay, so we'll get back up. So what's going to happen is the firmlings are going to go. First, this guy's going to punch, so we have this guy. He is going to punch or attack two. Plus 0, so our demolitionist takes 2 damage. It's also no longer special. And that is that. So now that's firmlings. Our red guard goes up now, and like I said, he punts. So not useful. So we go on to the next guy. So our next round, pretty much so we're going to do it that way. Okay, 37 and 38. So we have 37. Eight. And whatever the vermling is. It's still 50. It's still going to be 50, but we're going to just roll with it. Okie doke, so demolitionist goes first. just in case, we're going to stun this guy. So he's both muddled and stunned. Disadvantage because we're right next to this guy. So we're going to hit this guy first, our number 4. So we're going to attack 2 with disadvantage. Oh, one thing you forgot to do is shuffle our duties. That would be cheating. Let's shuffle this up. There are a lot of rules in this game, so having this app is really helpful. So we're going to actually pull that down. So yeah, having the app is super helpful to have here. I'm just kind of need to look to the side a little while we're doing stuff. There we go. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do this. So we got disadvantage. So first 2, pretty good for disadvantage, I think. So we attack that one for 2. And then we're going to attack this one for 2, and then we don't have advantage or disadvantage. So we hit number 3 here for 1. Okay. So we can do some attacking, do some healing. But first of all, let's do this. We are going to take our move action, our generic base move, and we're going to tuck around the corner here. We're going to move 2 there. So if you saw, we kind of were here and we snuck around. We snuck around the bottom of the board here to get behind those guys. So we didn't even take our action, we took the generic. Then we're going to do our attack 2. And we target all adjacent enemies. So now they're both adjacent because we cornered them in the corner. So each of them gets a normal modifier. So it's 2 plus 1 for here, for our first one. So that's 3. He dead. then 2 minus 1, so 1 to number 3 here. Okay, so vermlings are going to move. Now this is the most adjacent, so they're going to attack. So they have an attack of 2 plus 0, so our red baron is going to take 2 in the face. And this guy's going to actually move to demolitionist, so they're going to go 1 towards the demolitionist and not do anything. So that's our vermlings. The next round. So none of those had to reshuffle. So what we're doing, we're kind of in between rounds. So here is where we either take a long rest where we skip the next round and we choose which card we want to take, or we do a short rest where we just shuffle and we randomly lose one of our 6 cards until the end of the game. So we're going to do that. So what do we lose? Oh, we lost the card that we just used. That's gone out of the game. So do that. Also in the long rest you can heal up some HP, but we're doing really good, so we're not even going to deal with that. Like I said, this is the intro scenario, so we're just gonna kind of wing it. Okay, what do we lose here? Oh, we lost our muddle attack. Not great. That one I kind of wanted to keep. But we're doing fine. We're doing fine. Okay. So now I think we need to do some splitting up and do some attacking here. So let's see what we can attack and go. So I think we want the demolitionist to kind of mosey that way, and we can finish up on our 3 guy here and maybe then move. So let's go demolitionist first. What do we have as far as crunch and mosey? Okay, I think that's a good crunch and mosey. And yeah, we can do that here. But I think we may be ending this pretty good on time here. So demolitionist is a 20. Our red guard is a 14. So we are going to go. Demolitionist gets 20. Red guard gets 14 on the initiative. We draw for vermlings. It says 20, even though there's still 50. But it's still in the right place, so we are good to go. Okay, let's see. Let's do some attacking. So we're right up next to them, so we are going to do some fancy talking. We are right up on them. So we are going to attack and immobilize. So we're going to attack for 3 plus, don't know why that's not showing it. There we are. Oh, -1. So we attack for 2. Which is not enough to kill this guy. But we immobilize him. And then our bottom action is we try to move 4 hexes away. We were counting on killing him, so we might not move as far as we thought. So I think we're just going to move 1 hex away and sit there looking pretty. So we'll get rid of those. Now we have our guy here. We're going to move 2. And we're going to destroy an adjacent barricade. Which is going to give him a strength. So we're going to give him good old strength. So we're going to pop that on. Now we're going to attack 2, range 2. So we can, this edge can totally go up to this edge so we can see that guy. This guy is not in range. We could have destroyed this, but he's still 3 away as opposed to 2 away. So we're going to just attack this guy, and we're going to pull 2. And good thing we got advantage. Okay, so we attack for 2 plus 1, so that's 3. 2, 3. Potato. Here we go. That is done. Let's see. Okay, now we're going to have some Vermling turn here. So, Vermling's turn. 2 goes up. 2 is going to punch our Demolitionist for how many? Oh, for 3. We take 3 on the chin. 2, 3. Okay. We're in the trouble zone here. Our guy here cannot move, but he can still punch, and he's right next to us, so he's going to pull +0, so that's 2 to our red guard. Who's doing fine? He's doing fine. Okay. So that's end of Vermilion. Vermlings here. They should be Vermilion. Vermilion Vermlings. Isaac Childress, you need to get on that because I need a coat made out of Vermilion right now. Right now. Okay, doke. So let's see what we got. We got 41 and 19. So let's go 19, 41, draw. Let's Straight up 50. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack with some unseen force. So we're going to attack 2. We still have our strength, so we're going to draw 2. Oh, that's a brick. So we're going to take that one, the -1. And we're going to attack that for 1. And then we have an attack again. For 0. And then that's going to die. And then we're going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're within range there. And now we have our red guard. Which will attack for 3. So we're going to pull... Oh, -2. But that's all that we need to kill that guy. And then if we had a chance, we would have healed our demolitionist up. But we are good. That is all the vermlings are gone. So, we've reached the end of the scenario. So we'll take all these guys off the board. We get to read our conclusion. So you wipe the blood of the last vermling from your face, and your thoughts return to the sleepy line. Surely they've got a stew ready by now. It would be so perfectly warm and soothing, and it's right through that gate. Too close, you can almost taste it. But then another thought comes. It is highly unusual, brazen really, for a pack of vermlings to operate this close to the city. How could they be behind the strings of disappearances? It's a long shot, but one worth investigating, especially considering the ambush site doesn't look like their base of operations. There's probably a nest nearby that, with any luck, will have more information on the missing blacksmith. Oh, and treasure. Treasure would be nice. So, average fantasy or party stuff. But we do get to open up a new location, the hole in the wall. So we're going to do that right now. And we're right in B1. Always fudgy issue. There we go. Okay, so we're going to check this off as soon as I get a marker. And our next thing is to check out this hole in the wall saloon. So we are going to go to clean up. So let's do some cleanup. that took us through the first scenario. They don't really teach you much. They don't have all the leveling and stuff. They don't even teach you long rest in the first one. They tell you really need to do your short rest. So then we go to the scenario end. So congratulations on completing scenario 1. You read the conclusion test. Also, because you successfully completed scenario 1, check the white box on the sticker to indicate you're done. Lastly, after each scenario, each character fully refreshes, covers abilities, etc. So at this time, we should take out our character sheets. Check that noise out. Okay. Okay. So we get our character sheets. This is where we're going to name our characters. And we're going to check off that we're on level 1 here. We're not going to add any loot or anything right yet. But this is where we can commit to making our characters permanent. So this is where I'm going to open it up to folks that find this video in the next week to help me out. Also, anybody that's viewing right now, I need some character names. So we need a name for our demolitionist, and we need a name for our red guard guy. So if you want to either comment in the video or email me at contact@querdcast.com with the subject Gloomhaven names. We need a demolitionist and a red guard name. After that, we're going to upgrade. We're going to ditch all these level 1A cards. We're going to get a level B deck that'll help us start building our character up. So now we record everything. We get our little pouches for our bits, and we put them all back in our little box and tuck it back in the main box, and then we can start scenario 2, which is really cool. The scenario 2's got some more special rules. We got special types of traps coming up. It's going to be pretty sweet. So we're going to try to do this again next Thursday, moving to the scenario 2. Hope everybody can watch. Once again, we're going to be trying to like level up our production quality here. Maybe put on some makeup for once. It was a long day. It was a really long day. And we'll be doing this again and trying some more interaction next time, and playing with our green screen. We may just pop it back here or pull out an extra camera. So if you have any thoughts, comments, once again, you can get us at contact@querdcast.com, or you can reach us on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch @Querdcast, and on Facebook @Querdcast Live. They didn't have just Querdcast. So I hope to see everybody soon, and have a good evening. We are going to check out here. So.